if you're not getting referrals from people in your network, that might be because they're not thinking of you. And you might know a lot of people. They like you. So this is a shocking thing to hear. Vince, I'm popular. I go around and all these people are so excited to see me. What do you mean they're not thinking of me? Well, no, they like you, but you're not top of mind. And so that's why you're not getting warm leads and really getting value out of your network. And if you get that feeling when you meet somebody and it is electric because they hear, oh my God, you do that? I need that. Like, that is the best feeling. So let's get more of that for you. And we're going to do that today on It's Not Just Talking, where we help coaches, consultants, and people who are the face of the business power their marketing through podcasting. I'm your executive producer, Vince Quinn, and joined by my business partner, Taylor Cradatis, who's over there just looking at me like an alien. And people often meet us when we're out together, because we're out together a lot. And it's always, hey, aren't you the podcast guys? Like we hear that constantly. So that is something that we have built intentionally. So let's talk about that. And later in the show, by the way, we found out we're average, and we're very excited about it. But for now, let's talk about being top of mind. So I met a guy, this was maybe a year and a half ago, and I got introduced to him because I'm in podcasting, and he had some technical skills. So somebody was just like, hey, can you talk to him? Sure. So during the conversation, I found out that this guy is really talented. And what I mean by that is I was like, okay, so what kind of work do you do? And he's like, well, I do video work, so I can run a camera and I can go to places and I can shoot stuff. And also I'm an editor and I can do that. I create graphics. I do audio editing. I do social media videos, like all sorts of stuff. And it was just like, damn, this guy does like 20 different things, which on the surface sounds very good, right? He can do a lot of things. He has a lot of skills. Yeah, that's valuable. But the problem is I got off of that call, and what I realized was I have no idea when I call this guy, because he does so many things that on some level he doesn't connect on anything. And that is the problem. You want simplicity, right? The content that you're making for your business is marketing. How you present yourself at networking events, it's marketing. And so you need to connect with people about what you do, and it needs to be crystal clear. People get flooded. I mean, think about in your given day. You've got people who are, when you're on your phone, you're getting bombarded with ads and all of the different content. On your television, all the ads with your content. On the bus, at a gas station, sitting in the back of an Uber sometimes. There's an iPad playing stuff. Like, people are flooded with messaging and branding, and they just don't have the time to process more than one thing that you do. So you need to make it incredibly clear to everybody on that professional level what that thing is. How do you help people? What do you do? If I need something, or if I know somebody who needs something, what is that problem you solve so I can connect them to you? That is the goal. And that's really how the world's gone, right? I mean, we're not back in the Middle Ages when it's like, oh, well, I'm the only stonemason in 40 miles. You know what I mean? Like, people are everywhere. Services are everywhere. You can send things back and forth very easily. Your ability to find people that have these skills that you need, or these services that you need, like products, it's all easily at your fingertips, and it's only getting better and easier. So to say you do a million different things, you're not sticking out. And because you're doing a million different things and you're making content about a million different things, you don't register to anybody. So that's the problem. If people like you, if your clients like you, you do good work, you care, you're not ripping anybody off, right? Like, there are things to be said for reputational issues and not getting leads that way. But you should have conversations where people are so thrilled to find out what you do, because it is exactly their solution. So I know that's hard, because you like to do a lot of things. Maybe that's part of it. Hey, or you feel like you're closing off different kinds of business and you want to get that money in the door. Well, long term, you are hurting yourself because with each process, and me and Taylor went through this. So earlier in the business, we did all sorts of work. And we were building websites and we were doing social media work and we were going to locations to film things and all this different stuff. And when people asked me what we did, I told them everything that we did because I'm saying, hey, well, you got this, I got that. It's like the cartoon guy who like opens the trench coat and he's got a million different things in the coat. What do you need? Bang. So like nobody knows what any of that is. Ultimately, it's like, wow, you do a lot and nothing. So again, you need to be clear, you need to be simple, and you need to live in that again and again. As much as it's going to be boring to you at some point, because you do so much, you know so much, that to put yourself in this same box feels limiting, but it's actually freedom and it's simplicity. Because once you figure out what that lane is, how you want to identify yourself, and really lean into that, you're going to be better at your job day to day. Your business is going to be more effective. Your systems and your spending for the business will be more effective. You're going to get more referrals through your network, and you're going to be making better content and building better relationships and growing your audience because you are focused in what you do and the exact problems you solve, and you're getting better at doing all of those things all the time. That is the goal. So yeah, forget, like, I'm not a social media expert in that sense. I'm not following every single change with the algorithm and being the #1 world's most foremost Instagram guy. There's people that do that. That's not my thing. I'm podcasting. I'm getting the podcast and how do I put it in all of these different places and show you all of these different skills that you can use to grow your business and have a better show and have stronger messaging and bring in more clients. That's what I do. I am a podcast strategist. And you see how that boils down, right? That is the one thing I'm talking about, podcast strategy. And through that, do I do a lot of things? Yes. I help you with planning the show. I help you with editing for the show. I help you with where you should post these kinds of things. I can help with how to run a good interview. I can help with all of it, hosting platforms, equipment, all the different things. Like we do that here. But I'm making all of this content about podcast strategy, and that's it. I'm not talking about websites all the time or every third episode because, I kind of like websites. I used to do that. It's kind of fun. I enjoy the work. It's a little bit of money. Forget all of that. So again, generalists are dead. There's no time for that. Everybody is working to be an expert, and you need to work to be an expert at your field. So if you're not doing that, you're holding yourself back, you're holding your content back, you're not building connections the way you could, and you're losing a lot of time. So make it easy for people. They want to help you. They like you, right? That's how this all started. People want to help you and get you business. But if they don't know how to describe what you do and what you do best, then they don't feel comfortable recommending you because they don't know how to describe it, and they're not even sure that you're the right answer. They will send them to a specialist instead. So believe in being the specialist, and it's already part of something that you do. So coming up, what we're going to talk about is how you can narrow down to that specialty. Some of the things to consider to help you build that specialty out and drive more business. That's next. If you're looking for more ways to grow your business through podcasting, sign up for the SBX newsletter. The link is right here in the show notes, and each week in your inbox, you're going to get tips, opinions, strategies, all the things that we talk about here on the show in your inbox. The SBX newsletter right here in the show notes. So let's talk about solidifying your specialty. And there's a few questions that I think can be really helpful because a lot of us go into business for different reasons, and we have different passions and things that drive us. So there's a lot to consider, but I want you to think about these questions and determine for you what is the best fit. I'm not going through these questions in order. I'm just going through these questions in a way that makes sense, right? But you choose what your priority is based on your business and how you answer these questions. So let's go through these and let's talk about what it looks like to solidify your specialty. So what kind of work do you want to do more of? Maybe, again, you offer a lot of different services. You're doing a lot of different things. So with that, what do you like doing most? right? It's pretty simple. You're doing all kinds of work. Do you enjoy all of that work? Is it just something that you do? Is this something you want to build your business on and do more of? If somebody called you today and said, I have 20 clients that are dying to get that kind of work, I mean, sure, you're going to take the money. You'll get excited about that, or at least the prospect of it. But is that really what you want? Is that the center of your business? And if not, what is that thing? Because again, you're a solopreneur, like especially if it's really just you, then what is it for your business? And what is it for you day to day that is work that you actually enjoy with your expertise and experience? So think about that. What kind of work do you want to do more of? Another question is, what kind of work are you best at? And this is a little bit of a different conversation, right? Because what do you want to do more of on some level might be personal. You enjoy that work, right? It is fun for you. It's exciting. It's stimulating. What are you best at might be a little bit different. And you see this kind of thing, for example, in sports. It's like these guys, they're incredible athletes. And as much as they have every single thing that you could ever ask for as a human being, they don't like playing the game. So they're not going to work as hard. They're not going to practice as hard. They're not going to have as good of a diet. They don't get the most out of their potential because they just don't want to do all of that. It's not their favorite thing, but they are really good at it, and it's enough to make them a lot of money. So they go and do it, right? To whatever degree they do, they're like, yeah, I'm just doing this for the money. And that's okay, right? Like, again, this is your choice. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's what is best for you. So if it turns out that you're best at a certain kind of work that you do, then maybe you should lean into that. And that's where you really seal up your specialty and make it clear to people, this is the work, this is what you should think of. When you think of me, you should think of this work. So consider that. Now, another thing here, are there specific industries or business types that you want to work with? What is your ideal client? And we talk about this in different ways, but I mean, not every industry is for you. And that's a good thing. Every industry is different. They're going to have different nuances and processes and legal considerations or different size budgets and interest and understanding of what your service is. So where is it easy? Where is it a natural fit? Where do you think you can find more business? And it's a growing industry. That's something to think about. But you should consider that. And if you're saying, hey, I do A and B for C, it's easy to understand. For example, I help coaches and consultants with podcast strategy, right? Like it's it. So that's how I've boiled it down. That's what this business and this show, that's what those things are. So that's what I talk about. But you can do the same thing for you. And so if you consider that industry, that will resonate with more people. And we'll talk about some of the benefits of this kind of specificity in just a moment. Next question, and this is my last question. And it's similar to what are you best at? What do you want to do more of? But what is the most profitable thing you do? So if that's it and it works and you're building this business to make money and that's the goal, I mean, yeah, right? Like, duh. But not everybody is in that maximalist, biggest profit margins, scaling everything kind of mentality. So this might not be for you. The idea of what's the most profitable thing on some level might kind of turn you off. It might feel disgusting. But for some people, duh, right? So it's up to you. But what is the most profitable thing? And if that is a certain service, a certain aspect of your business, then lean into that more. If that's what you want to do, and make sure that your messaging is around that. Again, for us, it was, there were all of these different kinds of work and processes. I didn't really like doing it all that much. We didn't want to do more of it. We didn't think we were best at it. And we were working with, in a lot of cases, the wrong kinds of industries. So it was almost process of elimination that got us to where we are. We tried a lot of different things and we realized we don't, none of them are the right fit. But it really might be as simple for you as this is the thing that I do that is the most profitable. This is where the most upside is. And so I'm going to solidify my brand and be top of mind to people from doing that. And when you distill all of this, you can see how the content messaging gets easier because you're talking about a very specific thing now. You're talking about less topics, less areas of specialty, and you're just living in a certain space. Like I said earlier, as a podcast guy, I can talk about different things with production and timelines. I can talk about clips and what makes a good one. I can talk about the hosting strategy and how to go about preparing a show and how it fits into your marketing and what ways to post it all. Like, it's all under that umbrella, but it's a very specific umbrella. So that will make it easier, and you still get to talk about a lot more things than you realize. So don't feel like, oh, I won't have any content. I don't know what to make. I don't know what to talk about. No, you have that information. You just have to dig a little deeper, and it'll get easier over time. So do that, find that specialty, and lean into it. Is it going to be the right answer for you? There's a chance it's not. I want to be very honest with you, but you have to find something that you're willing to try and say, because if you're not sticking with anybody, you need to take shots. It's really that simple. And you got to find something and commit to that and go with it for a while, whether it's a couple of months or a year or whatever it might be, and see where it goes. And if it turns out that as you've gone down that avenue, you need to correct course a little bit, then fine. Or you find new information that you specify further or whatever. Like, adapt with that. But overall, you're getting closer to the right answer. But it starts by committing and shedding a lot to be identified in a specific place. So if you do that, then people will say, oh, you're the podcast guy, whatever that version is for you, and they'll be excited to talk about you, and they'll want to know more because they know they have that problem and they know that you solve it, and they just couldn't find anybody and didn't have the time to go look them out. So that's what you can get. That is the benefit of being top of mind. So eliminate some things, simplify, and hit that message again and again. It will get easier. And so with that, when we get back, let's talk about being average, and how exciting it is. So that's in just one moment. But first, if you are looking for help with this kind of strategy, what is that message? How do I get it out in my content? What are the right kinds of people to connect with? How am I building better relationships online in the different places that I'm posting to build that audience, to make people aware and get that business in the door, to have people in my network understand who I am and give me those referrals? That's what I'm here for, and that's why we do a free 30-minute compass call. So the whole idea is it's a strategy session. We sit down for 30 minutes. It's not all this, hey, how you doing? Where are you from? Like, it's, hey, I see you have this problem. Let's talk about it, and we get right into it. So very easy. All you have to do is go to freepodcasthelp.com. That's how you get started. Freepodcasthelp.com, and you get that 30-minute compass call, obviously free, and no, sneaky fees or hidden commitments or anything like that. Come in, let's talk, let's get you on your way. So with that, let's talk about being average. A lot of times it's not an exciting thing, and it's kind of the antithesis of what I just talked about. So Vince, what do you mean you're excited to be average? Well, what I mean is with this show, I've talked a lot about being specific. And when me and Taylor started this, we knew that we were not going to get any downloads on the show. We just knew. Nobody cared. We didn't have a major audience, and everybody that was in our audience, how many of those people had a podcast? So not many. We had to go and build that. We had to go and meet those people. We had to put in the work, and we had to get the word out. So when we started this, I mean, we got, maybe 5 downloads on our first episode, like when it came out. Like, nobody cared. And we didn't care because we knew it wasn't about that. We knew that as long as we were making quality content that made us top of mind and showed that we knew what we were doing and built trust with people, then things were going to get better and more people would go and tune into the show. And so we are less than a year in at this point. We're getting close to a year, but we're about 10 months in at this point. And we finally gotten to the point where we're around 27 downloads per episode, which is Your average podcast gets about 27 downloads, which might be shocking to you and hopefully a relief as well. If you're struggling, right? You might feel so much worse about these numbers because you think of tens of thousands of downloads and all the sponsors and glory. It's not like that for most people. So 27. But you know what? The 27 people that listen, they care. And doesn't that sound great to step in a room every single week and have 27 people who are very much interested in what you're saying? So that's a really good thing. And to take that even further, those 27 people, those 27 downloads isn't necessarily what our audience is. You might assume, well, Vince, it's only 27 people. It's actually much more than that, because I'm not listening to every single episode of every single podcast that I like. Are you doing that? Probably not. Have you listened to every episode of this show? Probably not. I don't blame you. You know, maybe you feel really good about everything in certain episodes that we've covered. You're not engaged by that. You need help with something else. So you want to check out other episodes. Then yeah, go do that. It's totally normal. It's what we expect. But that shows that it is so much bigger than that average download. Your audience is more. Sometimes some people estimate it's 10 times more. Does that mean 270 people are listening to the show? Maybe. I certainly hope so. That would be great. But at the very least, we're breaking through to 27 people every time we post something. And that audience, that number keeps going up. So we're seeing all the goals that we want. We're seeing progress. We're building better relationships. We're seeing that with our download numbers. We're seeing that with our social media views and our engagement and our following and our leads and our newsletter. Like, it's all growing. So yes, when you look at the number 27, it doesn't sound very exciting on the surface. But when you really dig into it and what the impact of that number is across everything that we do and how that's grown and the kinds of people that we're talking to when we do it, it's pretty powerful. So we love that number. It's great. I'm serious. I'm thrilled about that number. So it's only going to get better because we're dedicated to being top of mind in this space and continuing to make the content to reinforce that. So I hope this gives you a little bit of inspiration. And if it did, please give us a 5-star rating. I'm always saying this at the end of the episode. If you made it this far and you've listened to this whole episode and it's given you value and given you some inspiration, 5-star rating is literally just for us to know that you got here. That's it. We just want to know you made it to the end of the show, you feel like you got value out of it, and you want more. So feel free to give us a 5-star rating, Apple, Spotify, wherever you're listening, or if you're on YouTube, anywhere else, feel free to give us a comment. But just anything that lets us know that you're listening, you're paying attention, we'd absolutely appreciate it. And with that, I'm Vince Quinn with Taylor Cradatis, and we'll talk to you soon.